In this video, I'm going to show you the best way to train for the bike section of an Ironman triathlon so that you can finish strong and have a great race. Hi, my name's Phil Mosley and I'm an Ironman triathlete and coach. In this video, I'm going to show you the best way to train for the bike section of an Ironman triathlon so that you can finish strong and run a great race. The bike section of an Ironman can be really tough if you're not prepared, but with the right preparation, you can make it through with ease. So stay tuned and I'll show you how it's done. The bike section of an Ironman triathlon is the longest part of the race in terms of distance and time. Not only do you have to contend with the fatigue of just having swum 2.4 miles, but you'll also be riding along knowing that you still have to run a 26.2 mile marathon. Have you done an Ironman before? How did you find the bike section and do you have any tips? I'd love to hear from you in the comments section. If you're not properly prepared, the 112 mile bike leg can feel really tough. Here's how to train for it so that you can cross that finish line with a smile on your face. Slowly but surely, you'll need to build up your base mileage. And for most beginner triathletes, that means starting with a couple of steady 60-minute rides each week, and then gradually building them up over time. These base building rides can be done at an easy chatting pace, so don't feel you need to be pushing hard all the time. And over time, you'll need to build at least one of those 60-minute rides up, so that it gets to around 4 or 5 hours eventually. And that might take you 6 months or more to achieve, depending on your starting fitness. You don't want to jump into doing too much too soon though, because that can lead to burnout or injury. But there's no getting away from the fact that an Ironman ride is a long way, and by the time that the race day gets near, you'll need to be able to ride at least 100 miles non-stop in training without feeling too tired afterwards. So it's going to be tough, but it's also going to be good preparation for what's to come. And once you're able to do that, you can feel really confident about riding the 112 miles on race day. Having friends to train with will make the process a lot more enjoyable, and it'll also push you to ride further and faster than you would do on your own. Riding long distances can get lonely and boring, but when you're in a group, the time does fly. Over the last 20 years, I've had periods where I've trained in groups, and I've also had periods where I've trained alone. And I can tell you from experience that during the times when I've trained with others, I enjoyed the whole process a lot more, and I ended up getting fitter than when I trained solo. I know it's not always feasible, especially if you're a parent, but if you can make that happen, I strongly recommend it. You don't need the latest and greatest equipment to complete an Ironman bike leg, but having quality gear will certainly make the process easier and more fun. So do invest in a good road bike and make sure it's properly fitted to your body. Buy comfortable clothes that won't chafe during long rides, and stock up on essential items like tyre levers and CO2 cartridges so that you're prepared for anything on race day. When you're sat in one position for such a long time, that extra comfort does make a big difference to your mental state throughout the ride. I once interviewed a world-leading nutritionist for a triathlon magazine, and he told me that the bike leg of an Ironman triathlon needs to be like a buffet on wheels. Cycling burns around 500 calories per hour, so it's really important to fuel properly during your long rides if you want to maintain your energy levels. And by a long ride, I mean anything longer than about 90 minutes. There's nothing clever about feeling completely wasted after a bike ride, and one way to avoid this is by consuming around 200 to 300 calories per hour by snacking on things like bananas, oat bars, energy gels and energy drinks. Practice using the foods and drinks that you're intending to use on race day so that your gut gets used to them. And it's also a good idea to have a balanced meal soon after your long rides to help you recover faster. Doing this will also stop you from feeling like you need to eat unhealthy snacks all day long as well. So if you haven't already, you should seriously consider investing in some kind of indoor bike trainer, whether that's a static bike like a Peloton or attaching your own bike to a smart trainer. That way you can still ride even when you're short on time or if the weather is bad. And for extra motivation, there are some great cycling apps like Zwift and Full Gas, for example, and they allow you to train in a virtual world with cyclists from all over the world. They have online races, workouts, group rides and far more, and they're a real motivation booster if you're a busy Ironman triathlete. If you're following one of my training plans, you can even sync my workouts with apps such as Zwift and Full Gas, and that enables you to follow each session with on-screen prompts within the app itself. This is something I do myself, and it's a real game changer when it comes to motivation. I find it way easier to get through a tough interval session. Ironman training on the bike can be tough, but it doesn't have to be all work and no play. Ride with friends, stop at coffee shops and enjoy riding varied routes. You can even do some mountain bike or gravel bike rides if you want to change. There's no rule that says you have to ride a road bike all the time. Either way, just make sure you enjoy the process and give yourself some credit for taking on such a huge challenge. Training for the bike section of an Ironman triathlon is no small feat, but it's definitely doable with some hard work and dedication, not to mention some quality gear. By slowly building up your base mileage, fueling correctly, doing long rides once per week and training with friends, you will be in great shape by race day. And most importantly, try to keep it as much fun as possible.